Hello, friends from the manga world. My name is G,
I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the July 2025 new releases for manga. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at PRH International Comics, where we'll post our updates and news on there. How we usually do this is Hector and I should mention that we work for Penguin Random House. I forgot to mention that important fact. So the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell around the world. But what we usually do with these is we'll start with our personal picks, then we'll go into volume ones and one shots, and then we'll leave you with the rest of the list with continuing volumes. So you could definitely, we recommend sticking around to take a look at those titles. And actually, the first one is me. This is
Yeah.
the God Slaying Demon King. This is the volume two, but if you haven't picked volume one, this is your time to do so. You can pick up both volumes. So this is like we have centuries of war between with the demons, but the world has finally united under an overwhelming power by Hiram, who is considered the strongest demon king in history. So when Hiram defied the demon god, he and the deity engaged in days of fierce battle, where in the end he was cut down by divine punishment. But the Demon King is never without contingencies. Hiram cast a spell that in the event of his death, he would be reincarnated years later with all his powers intact, and only this time he would be born as a human. And the demon god has no power over humans in this world. So with his life restored, Hiram begins this grand adventure to find the demon god and kill him once and for all. There you go. And so very action-packed series. I'm very excited for the volume two to come out, and yeah.
Next up is my first pick for this video. It's as a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. This is volume six. This is a light novel. We also have the mangas available, but this is many of you probably already know this one. It's a very successful, not just manga light novel, but also very successful anime. Already two seasons have come out. The second one and was at the end of ended at the end of last year, December of 2024. We're still waiting for confirmation. I think that season three has been confirmed. We just don't know when. Uh, and if you watch these videos before, you know I'm a huge isekai fan, and this is one of my favorites recently. This is a very cool story about this young boy that you see on the left, who obviously was a middleman, Japanese businessman, who was reincarnated into this new world. And of course, you expect him to have an ability, but his ability is not really an ability. He doesn't have OP strength or magic or anything like that. He just has the ability to read to appraise the abilities of others. So he can actually see, if it was a game, a video game, he will see a bar with their status of what their skills are, how strong they are, how much is their or their HP, MP, all of that. And he is he's born into a smaller, lower noble family of in charge of a small town, but he uses this skill to surround himself with people with great abilities. So it's a very interesting concept because then he is not this overpowered, person that is gonna be able to go to battle. But one of the first persons that he chooses, he goes around town. He's walking around town as a little boy, and he sees there's this race of the immigrants. There's a lot of prejudice against them where he lives, and he sees this one guy, and he sees that he has huge strength and ability for swordsmanship and fighting, and nobody, he's just in the street eating, trying to survive, and he picks him up and takes him home and makes him his bodyguard, his basically his personal assistant. and he becomes one, not just a great, asset for him, but a great asset for the armies and everybody else, because he sort of leads armies and trains. So that is that kind of story. There's a lot of funny moments. There's a little sister who's obsessed with him, of course, because that's part of isekais and manga. And it's kind of cool to see how he progresses with his knowledge of this world taken into that world, but also with, like I said, surrounding himself with people that you wouldn't usually think of. There was another one that is this guy who loves to eat, and he eats so much, and he loves to eat so much that he knows every ingredient around the world. So he puts him in charge of sort of analyzing what kind of products and produce and things he can export to make money for his country, but also import and do business with other countries. So it's a very interesting concept and the way they play it. And there's action, there's fights, there's wars. So there's a little bit of everything. And I'm really excited to have the light novels. I haven't started reading the light novels. The manga is amazing, so I need to get started on the light novels because there's probably going to be a whole lot more information that you get from the manga or the anime in there. So there you go.
Next up is I Want to Be Your Girl Volume 1. There's going to be a hardcover and also a trade paperback edition that is coming out at the same time. And so we have Hime, who has been secretly in love with her childhood best friend, Akira, for as long as she can remember. She was like the first person who knew that Akira identified as a girl. And so she made it her like mission to be Akira's protector against the world. And Hina is like really thrilled that Akira has finally decided to live as her true self and they are starting high school. So unfortunately, because of well, fortunately, living as their true self, but unfortunately attracting attention, sometimes unwanted attention. Um, so Hima takes it upon herself to stick up for Kira whenever needed and necessary. And so not wanting her friend to be singled out and bullied, Hima decides that her only option is to put herself in Akira's shoes, and Hima dresses like a boy in support of a friend that she loves. But too bad her plan kind of backfires on her. So this is printed in English for the first time. Is really what's interesting is this manga series. It really explores how there's complications with first loves and friendship, but there's also of like what does it actually truly mean to be an ally for someone, and it goes into that question as well. So yeah, uh, I'm really excited for this, and this is coming out of Random House Graphics.
And we continue with Last Samurai Standing, and this story by Shogo Imamura and illustrated by Tatsuj, which I know I have the name somewhere, the full name, but I lost it. Anyways, um, this is a very cool story which has already inspired a live action adaptation that will air later this year in Netflix. I don't think we have an exact date, but it does say that it's this year. Um, and it's basically it takes place at the end of the 19th century, about a decade after um, samurais are basically disbanded, and um, even carrying a blade in public it's outlaw. Um, and so there's a somebody decides to sort of put a call out on all remaining samurais in the country and do kind of a battle royale. And not just the concept, but also think about the the um, the manga and, battle royale. Uh, it it promises a big prize to the last samurai that can travel from where they are, I forget where they start, to uh, Tokyo. So basically, it pits, I think it's almost 300 samurais against each other to see who is the first one to and the last one to get there and to be alive. Um, and of course, there's politics and a lot of other things involved around that. And of course, you have a main character you're going to follow through all of the story. This is perfect for fans, like I said, of Battle Royale because of the concept, but also Shogun and Golden Kamuy, Blade of the Immortals, things like that. Many others. So it blends the samurai with also this sort of battle royale, Hunger Games almost kind of feeling to it. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and I can't. I want to get started. So you can get started in July, and I think the next volume comes out around November of this manga. So you can actually get started before the live action series. Uh, it's available in Netflix. So there you go.
Next up, we have You Can't Live All on Your Own, Volume 1. So this is for people who really like to explore like an ensemble, like cast of characters and reading about their own lives. You have these four roommates who are like making their way in this busy world of Tokyo, Japan, and they all share an apartment together and they face their own unique problems. So I'll give you a little bit of a character profile of each person. So we have Shuko, who is feeling the pressures of getting married, but has no idea whether that she'll be truly happy on her own for the rest of her life because that's what she's thinking right now. And then we have Aika, who's this hardworking career woman who wants to prove herself with the judgmental men in her office. We have this like romantic but idealistic Misakai, who's like spurred into action when it turns out that her boyfriend of 2 years didn't know that she thought they were dating, which comes with its own complications. And then we have this nurturing and good-spirited Shio who struggles to set a work and life balance because she has to pay for many bills. And so it's just like slice of life, these things that these women typically deal with, especially set in Tokyo. And it's really the biggest question of can they navigate like what it's like to navigate being in their late 20s and what does happiness really mean to them. And so yeah, this is coming out in July.
And then we continue with Tower Dungeon number 1 by the amazing Tsutomu Nihei. And if you haven't heard that name before, you should know that name. He is the creator of big series like Blame, Knights of Sidonia, and also one of my favorite ones in the last few years, which is Kaya of the Great Snow Sea, which are all available through Kodansha and obviously to Penguin Random House. In this case, and I should say that he's considered the master of the mysterious architectural monolith. So in this case, he brings us to this sort of world where an evil necromancer slays the king and kidnaps the princess and takes her up into a dragon tower, a legendary dragon tower. So the royal guard, obviously, they are they go in and try to get through and go up the tower. They know how to go up the tower to rescue the princess. You know, sort of like Mario Brothers, but on acid, basically. But there are all these powerful creatures in a way. It's a huge this Dragon Tower is really a big dungeon that you have to get through. So to supplement their forces, the knights grab all able bodies from surrounding villages. So basically, take all these men that have, young men and men that have strength, at least a little bit of strength, give them a shield and a sword and an armor, and put them in front as sort of as a shield as they go through to sort of help them push through all the creatures all the way up to the top of the tower. Of course, we concentrate on this one character, this young boy that you see here on the cover, and his story. His name is Yuva, and it's just a farm boy with a strong back and no experience in battle at all. So we see everything through his eyes. Of course, it's gonna be lots of action. It's gonna be probably gory, bloody. It's gonna be very dramatic, as all of Tsutomu other works. I love the line. The last line on the description says, "Gird your loins, heft your blade, and enter the Dragon Tower." So that's all I needed to read to get me on board to read this. So looking forward to this one definitely. And yeah, for a lot of fans of Sumo Inehei, I'm sure they're very excited about this one. This is gonna be big.
Okay, and then going forward with volume ones and one shots, we have 2345 Re. This is by Ohana. Ohana, this is their debut English series, or like, and then this it's a bittersweet romantic mystery. It follows the shy college freshman Iku, who has recently discovered he can see ghosts. See the friendly phantom that latches onto him, and Iku's search to find out why his new roommate is forced night after night to relive the fall that turned him into a specter. Dun dun dun. So it's a mystery of that. And then we have Astrolabe Rebirth. This is a novel. So in a world ruled by machines, one human stumbles upon a mysterious man whose presence foreshadows an apocalypse. So this is sci-fi meets Danmei, boys love in this brand new story by Arai Zhang, who's the author of The Legend of Exorcism and Dinghai Fusheng Records. And then we have BL Game Rebirth, My New Life as the Hero's Younger Brother, Volume 1. So we have a boys love fan who gets the ultimate Fujoshi experience when they're reincarnated into a BL game as the brand new main character. I love this. This is
Hmm.
every Fujoshi's dream. And then we have Cat and Crazy Volume 1. This is the creator of Cat and Gamer. This is Cat and Crazy. It's a humorous cat manga, of course, for all the animal and cat lovers out there. When cat fanatic and high schooler Kensuke Fuji meets the ultimate cat whisperer, he decides to become their disciple to learn everything about cats.
Very cool. And we continue with Contrast, a boys' love manga about just how complicated love is when opposites attract. Kanata is a handsome young man, of course, BL, who is the center of attention. Akira is the perfect student who barely talks to anyone. They both have feelings for each other. Is this a case of opposites attract, or are the differences too great for them to ever truly connect? Well, we're going to have to read to find out. And then we continue with Cute but Not Cute. Keiichi Hosumi 30 is a perfect man who has been blessed with everything. The company he started is going well. His private life is very fulfilling, and everything in life is as he pleases, except for one thing. He's extremely lonely. Well, he doesn't look lonely on the cover. And then the desert butterfly yearns to be caught. Love that title. Seto, the young head of a desert country, has restless and was restless and dissatisfied. Sorry. Even when he wanted to enjoy a night out, his personal bodyguard Kyle was too controlling. And then we continue with the Feisty Omega and his twin mates, Volume 1. When one Omega is rescued by a set of Alpha twins, he finds his whole life turned upside down in this Omegaverse boys love manga.
Right, continuing on, we have H.P. Lovecraft's The Color Out of Space manga. This is a horror story. It's like in in detail to H.P. Lovecraft, but modern manga horror take on it. So this is a complete story in one volume. It features a tip-in title page in metallic gold ink, which is beautiful, and four color pages. So even the folk of Arkham are frightened of the valley west of town, blighted and deformed by something that fell from space, a twisting and spectral hue. Horrific. That. You gotta read more to find out. We
Yeah.
have E.G. the Killer Omnibus Volume 1. This is the ultra violent tale of a broken killer and his Yakuza nemesis that inspired the infamous film. And this is the author of Homunculus and Hikari Man. And then we have Lionhearts. This is also like a one shot. As children, Shishimaru and Leo was inseparable, but the years went by, they grew up and parted ways until 10 years later when the two reunite. Have their feelings remained or have they been apart for too long? It's such a beautiful cover. I love the look of it. And then I am such a fan of My Beautiful Man, both manga and the live action. So we have the light novel, which I haven't read yet, so I'm excited for this. This is My Beautiful Man Interlude. So this is a collection of side stories featuring the characters from My Beautiful Man. It's a dramatic boys love, school boys love, I should say, novel series that inspired of that I mentioned the J drama, the live action film, and the manga series of the same name.
Okay. And we keep going. There's a lot this month for the number ones and one shots. And we have My Younger Night Takes Care of Me in Another World, Volume 1, a sexy boys love isekai about an overworked salaryman who winds up in another world and under the protection of a handsome knight with a secret. Next up is Sex Drive Manga, Volume 1, My Listless Instructor. When one woman is afflicted with a disease that causes her to go into heat, she winds up in the world of sex espionage and paired with a handsome, experienced man. And then we continue with Shindo Kun's Tight Squeeze, Helpless Against His Alluring Touch,
This
Volume 1.
title is
I
amazing.
know. And it goes perfectly with the cover.
Mm.
A steamy office romance about a woman forced to mentor a subordinate who proves to be much more than a handful. I love that. And then we continue with Tokyo Revengers, Brilliant Full Color Edition, Omnibus, Volume 1 and 2. And we've already seen these color editions from other classic mangas do extremely well. The first one that comes to mind is Parasite. Um, but now we do it for Tokyo Revengers, the critical acclaimed manga series about a man time traveling back to his youth to save his girlfriend from a street gang that inspired an anime, live action, and multiple spin offs, now available in full brilliant color. By the way, that description is very, very, like, so light. There's so much more to this manga if you haven't read it.
Mhm.
Anyways.
All right, we have Tough Love at the Office. You probably saw us talk about this before, but now it comes in a complete Yuri collection. So, like the entire three-volume series of the manga, originally titled Black and White, is now in the single omnibus collection. And it is exactly as what you think it is.
Yeah.
Sparks
Hmm.
fly, Yuri love, tough women. It's great. And then we have the 12 Kingdoms Book One, Shadow of the Moon, Shadow of the Sea Part One novel, the epic series that inspired the hit anime, now returning with this all new translation. So it's a quest for survival and self-discovery of one girl who finds herself lost in a strange, unknown world. And then we have, as is what you would expect with this title, it's exactly what you see. Two guys at the vet clinic. Yeah, it looks cute. So a rescued kitten brings two men together in this sweet boys love manga. This is adorable.
Yeah. And we continue. With the unwanted bride loves the crown prince with all her heart. Volume 1. This gorgeous full color fantasy romance features intriguing court politics and a unique take on the enemies to lovers genre. Then we have What It Means to Be You, the comic, Volume 1. A tragic romance gets a second chance when one woman switches bodies with her husband. The full color manhwa webtoon comic in English print for the first time ever. And then we have You Will Become My Wife manga. In this steamy romance manga, one woman is overwhelmed by the pleasure and desire she receives from her handsome fiance, but what she really wants is to know his feelings.
And then that's it for the volume ones and one shots. Yes, it should be. And then, but we are we'll leave you with the rest of the list so you can look at the continuing volumes here. So yeah, definitely stick around. As always, Hector and I, we really enjoy doing these, so definitely check out our other videos. We also do like videos every week, so check those out as well. So that's it for today. Bye everyone.
All right.